To begin, we need to look at the upper left corner and make sure that it's turned up so that this is the way that you've been crocheting. You've been crocheting up, go to the upper left corner, and we're going to work our way down the seam on this side, across the bottom, and back up all the way around. So what we need to do is that we just need to go into the very corner stitch here, and we want to establish our first corner. So to do this, we're gonna attach our yarn, and we can actually bury this in the straggler like we could properly if you really want to. And so I'm just gonna pull through and through just to attach it like this, chain one, and then single crochet into the same stitch. Okay, sorry, I'm dropping my stitches here. And then I need you to chain two, 1 and 2, and go back into the same stitch. We've actually just created the first corner. So down the one edge here, we need to just kind of eye it out, just really kind of look for it. So to do this, we chain one, and we look along, and we just kind of eye it up and make it sure it's consistent. I'm just gonna come into the side and single crochet, chain one, okay, and I'm just gonna move further down, okay, and then chain one, moving further down, and do that all the way and down. Now if you add too many stitches, you're gonna get a ruffle look. You want to try to prevent that. You also, I just went around a post just like this. Not a good idea. You want to make sure you get into the side of a chain and not actually into a gapping space, because it will pull it apart. So just continue to work it down. There's no exact science. There's just it's just making it look good as you go. And essentially it may appear a little bit warped as you're going all the way around as well. Don't worry about it. It will probably settle down, but if you really think it's a problem, this is the time to adjust it, because once you get a few rounds around this, it's no going back unless you want to frog everything back out. So let me get back to the bottom corner, and then I'll show you what to do next. When you get to the bottom corner, you got to remember that when we started, we had the chain 4, and then we came over and started our double crochets. You got to remember that this bottom piece is the corner right here. So we want to make sure we get there. So there is your corner. So you're going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet like so. So we're along the bottom piece now here, and what you need to do is that you need to crochet within the actual stitch work itself. So only down the sides are you doing the chaining one. On the bottoms and the tops, you are just, so along the chain you are going to single crochet into each of the stitches. You're not going to do that chaining of one. You've only done that down the side, and you're going to do this all the way across. You're going to follow the same principle going back up the other side, which is the side, chain one, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. You're then going to turn a corner again and then come along the top here and single crochet into each one of those. So that's how you would do completing round number 1. Continue to do that, and I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. So I'm now coming all the way back around, and I want to get to the very last stitch like so. So this one here is where I joined. You can see 1, 2, so this is right, and so I just want to slip stitch to the first one that I started with like this. And so now in row number 2, or round number 2 of the border, we're just going to turn our work. So we're not going to fasten off, and what we're going to do is that we just immediately chain 1 and start single crocheting back in the other direction. It's kind of odd, isn't it? It actually works out really good. So when you get to the corners, what you have to do in the corner space, you put single crochet for one single crochet, and then chain 2 and 1 single crochet into each of the corners as you go around, and you just match the single crochets together, and this is what thickens up this border with providing a nice tight and even look. So when we come back, we're going to start off, we're going to finish up round number 2, and then we're going to begin round number 3. So we've now come all the way back around, and we are just into the final corner. Remember that when we started this round, we were actually just off by 1. Okay, and so you just want to finish that final corner before you fasten off, and then just slip stitch it here, and we're going to fasten off. So I'm now going to bring on red. I'm going to fasten it on to any corner, so that's that chain 2 in the corner, and I'm just going to wrap it like so and begin. So I'm going to chain 1 first, and I'm actually going to be creating the actual corner first. So we're just going to single crochet and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, coming into the same corner. Oops, I kind of like, that was kind of like a slip stitch. So now we have the corner loop in there. I know it's hard to see, but it's there. And now I want to chain one. I want to skip the first single crochet, go to the second for a single crochet, and then I want to chain one, skip the next one, go to the second, and do that all the way around. So on the corners, when you hit the corners of these ones here, it's going to be single crochet, chain three, single crochet on every corner, and then just make sure that you chain one and then skip one and single crochet along all four sides of this. And this is actually relatively easy. I want to give you a little brief tip here too. It's not happening to me, but if it was, this is where you need to fake it a little bit. Say for example you never got the right quantity to order to keep this pattern going. So all you're just going to do is that if this were me, and for example I have to skip one and go to the second, but if there was only one here and then the corner, I would put it into the one, because in the next round you'll be able to fix it at that point to make it really consistent. So you know, some of the tricks are basically understanding how you do it. When you get to the corners, make sure that you chain one first and then single crochet and then chain three and single crochet back into the same corner. So this is where you start faking it in order to make it work, because once you can get the consistency here, this here is a dominant line color, so you'll want it to look good as best as possible, and this is the spot that you'll do it at. So to continue the corner, after the corner just chain one, again single, and then just carry along as normal. So just following my own advice, I just came along the top. I was short by one, so I literally had one instead of two to do this. I just put it so these two are actually into the next stitch of each other. You can barely tell that's even happening, but it's a great way to avoid having to frog your work, to do anything crazy by pulling everything that you just did just because of this line. So if you know how to fake it, you can make it. And when you get back all the way around, make sure that you do chain one before doing the slip stitch to join that. So let's fasten off. So we just finished right here, and now we're about to turn our work. We want to turn to the wrong side, and basically we want to make sure that we're continuing to keep it balanced as we're going all the way around. We simply just want to go into a corner. Doesn't matter which corner as long as you choose one. No, obviously. So what I want to do is that we want to fasten on, chain one, and then come into that corner for 3 single crochets. This time when we do corners, we're no longer going to do the chaining of anything. We're just going to put in 3 single crochets in, and then we're going to put a single crochet into the first single crochet, and then this is the chain one gap right here. We want to put a single crochet right into that gapping space. This is what makes those turn like dots, like polka dots. Or not polka dots, like dotted lines. So then we go into the next one. Oh, I think I missed that one. We go into the next single crochet, and then we go into the next chain one gap space, and this will turn those into dots as we go around. So continue to do that. Make sure in the corners that you put in 3 single crochets before proceeding around. When you get all the way back around, make sure that you don't miss any stitches as you're joining everything together, and then remember to slip stitch it to where the beginning there, and this will end this around color. And we're going to come back. You know, I've been giving some thought as I've been going all the way around. I don't think I want to put 2 rows of red opposite to each other. I think I'm going to play with it, and you know, that's probably expected, so I'm going to do the unexpected and just randomly select something. I think I've decided that my exterior of this whole thing is going to be gray though, so maybe we'll see what happens. So just fasten off, and we're going to turn our project again around and just join to another corner and begin once again. So we're now going to begin, and we need to get to the center of the 3 single crochets on the outside corner, and we're going to join. I'm just going to grab my straggler again, just pull up, and I want to basically put a single crochet in to that same spot, and I want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then come into the same spot. Okay, so there is my next corner. So in one element here we had the gapping space. This one we didn't, this one we do. So we're going to continue exactly what we've done on the red. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the first stitch and go to the second. and then chain 1 and do the same thing. So skip. So the corners then, as we come around, will all then be single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and when we come back I'll have that done for you. And we're now in the final corner. Make sure you chain 1 before slip stitching. Now we're gonna finish this off. I'm going to fasten off. I still have a few more rounds to do on this particular project. No big deal. Now the next 2 rows are the same color. We're not going to be fastening off at all. Actually, in the entire project, the rest of the rows are actually the same color. But I would really strongly recommend that you play with it. Why not? You only live once, right? But in what I'm going to tell you is that in the next one we're going to come around and then we're going to turn and go back in the direction that which we came. So you'll want it to be the same color. So just carefully decide what you want to do, and you can really start seeing that the borders are really starting to take effect here and really providing a really nice outlook at this point. So let me just think about this a little bit. I'll be right back with another color. So this is where I finished off. I now want to turn my project the other way around and just come into any corner, and exactly what we've already done with this white is what we're doing on this round again. So we're just going to come right into a corner and we're just going to attach, and then using the straggler again, and we want to single crochet 3 times into that same corner spot. So you already know how to do this. This is what we've already done, and this just really helps gives those polka dots, because we really don't see it yet. We see it once, but this blue will turn into polka dots too. So we got 3 into the corner. The next stitch is a single crochet, and the next stitch then will be the gapping spaces in between. So you want to make sure that you're single crocheting into every single crochet plus single crochet around the gap, and then this will turn this blue into beautiful polka dots as you go all the way around. So what I want you to just do is just match everything to what you have. When you hit a gap space, just go right into it. There's another there, and then here's the gap. So continue to do that all the way around, and then on the corners remember 3 single crochets on the corner piece, and when we come back we'll start it again. Now when we come back we're going to turn and go in the other direction, so I'm going to keep the turquoise going for the next round as well. So we're just finishing up here. We want to make sure we grab everything that we got going on, and we come right to the end, and we want to slip stitch just like so. Now it doesn't say to do this in the pattern, but I would really recommend it, is that we're slightly 1 off from the corner, and that's normal. So we want to make sure that I'm just going to slip stitch 1 over just like this. Okay, and what I want to do is that I want to turn my work. Okay, so by turning the work then we can just do it. So here's what I propose that we do. This is exactly what it says in the pattern. We need to chain 3 first, 1, 2, and 3, and then I want to put 2 more double crochets into that same one there. What we're actually doing in the instructions, it's called a triple shell. We're actually creating one of those, and a triple shell is 3 double crochets, so the chaining of 3 counts as 1, so there's 2 more here. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to chain 2, and then coming back into the same spot we're going to then just put 3 more double crochets into that same spot. It gets a little tight in there. Yeah, so let's do that. So this is where the pattern really gets interesting. So let's finish that. So what we need to do then is that we need to skip 2 stitches. So you can really look at it here. So I got 1, 2, go to the 3rd one over and single crochet, and you're going to skip 2 again, 1, 2, and that's going to be a double shell. And a double shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. We're going to do this all the way across and around this whole thing. So we want to skip 2 and then come to the 3rd, single crochet down, and then again 1, 2, go to the 3rd. So I want you to do that. I'll meet you back up at the first corner where I'll show you what to do. You may need to ad lib at this point in order to get it if your counts are not perfect, but you know what? That's the whole beauty of creativity, is that if you know how to do it, it works for you. So this is exactly what we're trying to create at this moment. So I'm coming up to my first corner here. It just happens to work out that I got the right stitch count. If it didn't, I would make sure that when I finish my last shell, I would make sure that there's an even space between the single crochet and when you start the corner. When you get to the corner, you're just going to go to the middle one of the 3 and do the triple shell. And the triple shell, and just a reminder, is 3 double crochets in, and then we're going to follow it up with the chain 2, 1 and 2, and then 3 again. So the art is knowing where to ad-lib on the pattern to make it work for you. That's the bottom line of creativity generally. You know, it's in a real world, everybody counts the same, everybody ends up with the same, but well, that's in the fantasy world. The real world is that we're all unique and we do make mistakes. So we're going to skip over 2 once we get this triple shell done. Skip 2, single crochet in, and then again start the doubles. So 1, 2, and then go and start the double shells once again, and do that all the way around. When we meet back up, I am going to change the color. I didn't on the original at this point, but I'm going to change the color just because I'm allowed to and because it's my project. I'll be right back. So I've come all the way back around and I've got my single crochet in, and I just want to slip stitch it to the beginning of what we just did there with the triple shell. So what it says to do at this point, it says to turn the work if you're going to use the same color, and then you basically want to double crochet into the very first single crochet, and then you want to do your shell work. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to change my colors. So when I come back, I'm going to change my colors and then start, because I think it'd be kind of cool just to see what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to put in an X. I'm going to put in the red one more time. I'm really gung-ho over that. So let me just do that. I'll come back in just a moment and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, as I just said, if you were turning it, you would be double crocheting into the first single crochet. If you're changing colors, what I would do at this point is that join the color into the single crochet, and then we need to chain 3 to equal that double crochet that they originally called for. Again, this is ad-libbing. This is just, you know, because I can, right? If you understand crochet, you can do a lot of really neat things. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to put a double shell in between this double shell. So see how they come up together? We're going to do it right in there. And the double shell is 2 double crochets. Okay, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. Okay, we're not going to chain 1 or anything yet, or at all in this one. We are simply just going to double crochet into the middle where you've done the single crochet down there. It's right directly in between the 2 shells. So now we just look for the next shell, look for the in between, and put in another double shell there. So what I'm going to do is I'll meet you back up. Just continue to do that same process going across. I'll meet you up at the first corner where I'll show you how to turn the corner, and then we'll carry on with the rest of this tutorial. We are almost done this border at this point. It just got a couple more rounds to go. Yeah, but again, it's just you know, it's part of the atmosphere. You know, a lot of us we tend to really skip thinking about doing borders, and yet look at this one. It's amazing. I think that there's a great opportunity with these kind of afghans with using this kind of border. So I'll be right back. So now we're coming to our very first corner, and we have our double crochet in. We need to create a double shell before we start messing with this corner. So what we're going to do is that we're going to skip 1 and 2, go to the middle one of the 3, and put in another double shell. 1, 2. If you don't do this, then the whole corner is going to be out of whack. So you do that, and then what they want you to do is single crochet into the corner and then chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Go back into that corner and single crochet again. And now we're going to continue exactly. So you have this double shell going on. So what you have to just do is just count backwards. So it was in the middle. So you had the 3, it's in the middle. So just go to the middle one and do a double shell. And 1, 2. See, we have the afghan is growing, so we have to compensate for that on the corners. Once you get that in, you're back to the single crochet down here. You're going to double crochet and then basically start up your shells once again. Please do that on all of the corners, and when we come back, we'll finish off red, and we just have 2 more rounds to go to call this Afghan complete. Okay, don't forget when you come all the way back around, you are still going to have to do your corner. And one that was single crochet, 3 chains and 1 single crochet. And again, we still have the middle one to do here because we did not start in the middle of a corner. So what I'm going to do when we come back, I'm going to change colors again, and the final 2 we only have 2 more rounds to go, and I'm going to make the final 2 the same color because the final, this is what's really deceptive, is that when you look at the real product that I have here, you don't realize there's actually 2 rounds left because the last round is just a little like hint of slip stitching, and it is still minor, but it's what creates the really elegant look to it. So just stay here, and I'm going to fasten off, but if you don't want to change colors at this point, you don't have to. So let's come back in just a moment. So let's begin round number 9. Okay, and I just want to turn my work so your project, if you did not change color, would still be attached, and I'm going to attach this on the top of the chain 3 where I would have slip stitched. No brainer, right? Easy peasy, like this. So now, according to the instructions, it says that I have to chain 3, and it says that I need to double shell into the next chain space. Okay, so the next chain space that I'm running into here is the actual in between the double shell here. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up with. Okay, and then chain 2 right there. Okay, now it says in the next space, which is over here, this is that, remember that single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, this is that, this is going to be a triple shell. So it's going to be 3 double crochets followed by chain 2 and 3 in. Just like that. So now we just immediately look for the next space, and we are going to do another double shell. Oops. So I got 2, chain 2. Like that. Okay, and now see, this is the double crochet. Now yours may not be that obvious, but it is the double crochet that's in between 2. You just go into double crochet right on top of it, like that, and match it. So basically, as we go around, you're going to be matching the stitches. So the double shell is going to sit on top of a double shell, and then the double crochet is going to sit there, and then when we get to the corner again, we're going to double shell into the corner, and then the very edge is going to have a triple. And I think that I can rely on you to do that all the way around, and when we come back, we'll just finalize off our final round, which is really quite easy as well. Okay, when you get all the way back around, remember that this one here that we started off with is part of, it's supposed to be like a double crochet, so we're just going to slip stitch, and now let the fun begin. This is their final revolution, so let's begin row number 10. This is looking absolutely amazing. I'm actually just floored by it. I was actually second guessing it halfway through. I'm like, oh my god, but now that I've gotten this border done this far, I am absolutely, oh, I wish this was a full-size Afghan. So let's begin round number 10. We're going to begin again, and we're going to continue in the same direction, so we're just going to simply just chain 2, and we're immediately just going to stretch to the beginning, or sorry, to the middle of this double shell. We're going to come in and we're going to slip stitch and then chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and slip stitch again. Now here is the kicker of this whole thing. Only in the corner that it does chain slightly, because this gapping is too far from here to make it work. So you have to chain 2, 1 and 2. You come down to the first one of the double crochets, okay, and then just slip stitch in, okay, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Come back into that spot, and then slip stitch again. And these are creating like a little nub, like a little knobbly thing. Now we chain 2, 1 and 2, and now we come into the edge. This is the corner. So the corners are slightly different. We're going to single crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, back into the corner for a slip stitch. So let's turn our work. So essentially, again, we're still on the corner element to it. This space is still too far from the outside, so you can't reach there yet. So you're gonna go 1 and 2, come to the first one of the double crochets here, and slip stitch. Okay, and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch again, same area. Okay, so then you chain 2, 1 and 2, come to the middle of the double. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch again. And then chain 2, 1 and 2. You're now in between the two, so you're gonna come down to this one here. This is your double crochet and slip, and 1, 2, and 3, coming back in, and do that all the way around. What it's actually doing, see how it's making it more nubbly looking? It's taking the fineness or like the standard look of it and starting to create a little more interest, well, a lot more interest as far as I'm concerned. So continue that same process all the way around and you will be officially complete this afghan. And when you get all the way back around, just make sure you slip stitch it to bring it to a conclusion, and that completes off this one. Just go through and just look for any loose tails that you may find. Again, this is an absolutely fabulous idea. It's like a little mini gan here, and I'm really excited about it, and hopefully you are too. And until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd.